Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It's Candy here from SweetStamper.com with your Tuesday at 2 weekly Facebook Live. So I'm so happy to share with you here today. I actually have a really fun project to share with you as I kick off a little bit more work with Moonlight Mist. Hey Mary, I'm glad you're here, and Pat is here. So we're going to be working with one of the new in colors today, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of good natural light coming through my window. It's just about to blind me here, but that's okay. It is not 100 degrees, so I am not complaining about the light today. I hope everything is good in your part of the world. And I know so far we've got just Texas here. I say just Texas. Hey Cheryl, I'm glad you're here as well. Where are you, Cheryl? Are you here in Texas as well? Or are you somewhere else? I know sometimes we get people from all different parts of the US and even the world. So let me get my computer going here so that I can see comments once I flip the camera down. We're also going to be working with a bundle today, and it is called the Posted For You. Did I put my punch in here? I did not. So before I actually, well, you know what? I'll turn the camera down. I've got to go pop over to my little design space and grab my punch that I'm going to desperately need today. You're in California. Okay. Well, how are things in California? I don't know. It depends kind of on which part of California you're in as to whether, and Kathy, you're in San Antonio, whether in California, whether you're in the hot part of California or the cooler part of California, although, hey Gail, I'm glad you're here. I know that one of my friends in Northern California, I think it was last week, it was pretty hot up there as well. So I know the Bay Area usually stays a bit cooler, not quite so, not quite such scorching heat, but it's actually been a lot drier here as far as like our humidity level, which does feel cooler, well, cooler than 100 degrees and humid. So hey Barb, I'm glad you're here as well from sunny California too. You know, it's funny because I've always said people in Arizona, they'll say, you know, it's 110 degrees, but you know, it's a dry heat. It still feels like an oven. But having said that, we had really low humidity last night and a little bit of a breeze, and it was much more pleasant than it had been before. Hey Adriana, I'm glad you're here. Well, 95 plus degrees, Cheryl. Yeah, well, okay, join the club. I think that we have enough folks here that I'm going to go ahead and pull camera down, and we are going to get going with Moonlight Mist. Okay, here we go. Just a minute to make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing. And I must tell on myself a little bit here, because I have been calling this new in color, I've been calling this Misty Moonlight for 2 months. I did not realize that it's Moonlight Mist. And then I think there's also a book. My youngest son, Alex, was a huge Hank the Cowdog fan. And it seemed like there was like a Moonlight Madness chapter or book title. So that's kind of been in my head ever since this color debuted. So that is just telling on myself that I didn't have the color right. So I'm going to walk with you as soon as I make sure that my camera is properly positioned. And I don't know why it's not showing me. Let me just make sure I'm where I'm supposed to be. And then I will go through the different, yes. Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect, perfect. So here are some color combinations. This is the little color coach that Stampin' Up provides for us, and I absolutely love this. I'm going to be using this today because as I introduce each in color, I'm working with some of the different color combinations that we can devise. And Thursday on my Simple and Stepped Up, we did just Misty Moonlight in a Misty Moonlight in white and a monochromatic cards, but I confess I sent them both in the mail to people who won the drawing for comments. So I think I got a picture. Hey Grace, I'm glad you're here, and Lori is here. Welcome, welcome. We're going to do a little bit of a comparison. So here's Misty Moonlight. Look how true that is. This is the new in color grid paper that you can get. It's 25 sheets that you get. They are double-sided, and I think these are, I want to say $10, but I know that Betty, one of my stamping friends, was asking about the floral one, and that had been out, and now it's back in my online store. So I did kind of highlight that this morning. So there is, I see I even wrote it on here, Misty Moonlight. It's actually called Moonlight Mist, folks. That is just my incorrect name, but you know what I mean. And then Jeanette is here. Welcome, welcome. So let's just look at some of the blues by comparison side by side. This is one of our other in colors from last year, Seaside Spray. This is my favorite way to pair Misty Moonlight. If you want something, the lighter version, if you want the darker version, you go to Night of Navy. So I like having a darker and a lighter counterpart. That helps me a lot with my design work. So then I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to show you some of our other blues and how different. Pacific Point, very, very different. Kind of a bluey, well, it's definitely has some green in it. Now, Balmy Blue could be another lighter counterpart. It's definitely one of the ones that Stampin' Up includes in the Color Coach. But I think that Stampin' Up is not going to include this in the Color Coach because we only have one more year of Seaside Spray, where we have 2 years of Moonlight Mist. So here are a few other blues, just kind of comparing now. And then we go into what I call the Greeny Blues. You see the difference? These are all blue. We have a lot of blues in Stampin' Up. I mean, all of that. You look at all of those blues. Now, you might even think these aren't blues, but they are. Miss Pool Party is kind of an aqua blue, it is Pool Party, very aptly named. Coastal Cabana is the darker version of Pool Party, and you can see how it's very, very green compared to Moonlight Mist. And then the darker counterpart of that one is Bermuda Bay. So this is like the trifecta of the Greeny Blues, kind of aquas, pale, medium, and dark. And then you can go super dark, and that is Pretty Peacock. Pretty Peacock to me can almost, it's almost a green, but it is still a blue. Hey Mary, I'm glad you did make it. So we're just doing a little color comparison of all the different blues. So you can see why these are more the greeny blues, and then these are more of the cool blues. They don't have green in them. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a running idea. I think that one of the reasons everybody should get Misty Moonlight, if you don't have this on your shopping list yet, I urge you to get it. To me, like I said, it's nothing like any of these other blues that we have. And it's like a blue jean blue. And you know how versatile denim is. Denim goes with everything. You can dress it up or dress it down. So that is kind of my case for why you would want to have Moonlight Mist. Hey Carmen, I'm glad you've joined us. So I used this color combination, but I kind of bled down into this for today's card. So let me show you where we're going to go. And really quick, let me go get my punch because I forgot to bring it over here. So the bundle that I'm going to be using today is called Posted for You. Has this super cute postage stamp punch. And you can get it as a bundle with this super cute cling stamp set. So this is a red rubber stamp set. I'm using 3 of the stamps out of here today. These 3 images fit into this little postage stamp and allow you to create your own little custom stamps. So I will tell you as a little heads up, there is also another stamp set in the holiday catalog that pairs with this punch. So you can only get the bundle this way, but then there is an additional stamp set that's going to pair with this, and I love having that kind of versatility. Hey Peggy, I'm glad you're here, and Cindy, welcome, welcome. So one of the things I like about this stamp set is it's very versatile and it's kind of all occasion. You have just a note when you want to just send a note to somebody. You have a happy birthday, which tends to be the most common stamp that we send. And then sending love your way, that can be for any time. Beautiful flowers and birds, and then we're going to be keying in on this the love image today. And I love this little special delivery. So let's get started. This is where we are going to go. And I have some different options as to where we can take this when I demonstrate this for you. So, hey Yvonne, I'm glad you joined us. So here is my color coach, and you can see I used Night of Navy to put a little bit of a matte on my postage stamp. I'm highlighting Misty Moonlight, and then I also, this is where I was going, I used the Daffodil Delight, but then I wanted another color, I wanted another neutral in here. So I brought in Crumb Cake. So I borrowed Crumb Cake from this trio. So this is how you can use, even though they're sets of 3, you can mix and match these and pretty much have a great color combination every time. So yeah, Jeanette, you snuck a peek of the card with the Christmas stamp set, and now you have to have it. I understand. I totally understand. Super, super versatile bundle. So you can see where I'm going to take this one image and create like a little bit of a background with it. And let me just show you another version of the same card. And this time I simplified it a little bit. I didn't add as much stamping, but I brought in that Seaside Spray. I adore the way Seaside Spray looks with Misty Moonlight. To me, this is just the bomb color. I love, love, love that color combination. Guarantee you I'm going to be making some wintry, Christmassy holiday cards with that. So, oh, and so you've already gotten the festive post, Mary. I'm glad you did. So you see, this is a little simplified version. Both of these, I used the brick. Let me grab it for you so you can see. This is the brick and mortar embossing folder. I will say, and I'm going to do another demonstration of the embossing folders because I think there's still a little bit of confusion about how to use a shim with some of these 3D folders if you didn't get the blue plate. So one of the things you want to be mindful of, especially when you use the brick and mortar embossing folder, is I don't like my bricks going vertically. Most brick walls go this way. So that's the way I like to design my cards. So Yolanda, you're asking about the color coach. It's actually in the demonstrator site, and I know that you're a demonstrator. I believe it's in the business resources. I will actually share that link when I get off here so that everybody has access. It gives you all of the color, all of the in colors and combinations for them. So this is a really helpful tool, and actually I think the one file, there's one for every color collection we have, but I think this file actually has this year's new in colors as well as the in colors that were introduced last year. So that is the brick and mortar that I used, and I also wanted to show you that I used the postage stamp punch to give that little bit of a kind of a fun edge. And here I used the gold gems, and on this one I was using, these are the in color dots. These were on back order for quite a while, but now they are available again. So a little bit of a cleaner and simpler card. I did use the Daffodil Delight Designer Series paper, and on this one I used the Crumb Cake and made my own Designer Series paper. I will say also, before I demonstrate it, I'm chatting quite a bit, but I'm actually kind of meaning this to be instructional. Although Stampin' Up! Is recommending Daffodil Delight with Misty Moonlight, Misty Moonlight actually goes with every single one of our yellows very nicely. It goes with Bumblebee, it goes with Crushed Curry, it goes with So Saffron. So I think that you can't go wrong mixing Misty Moonlight with any of our yellows. But I like this, it's kind of bright and cheery, and I'm thinking, you know, it's summertime, right in the really kind of the height of summer, as it were. So let's get started with a little bit of demonstration here. So here is, hey Cynthia, I'm glad you joined us. Good afternoon to you. This is my Daffodil Delight card base, and let's see where are my other bits and pieces. Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I've already run this through an embossing folder just to save time. One of the things that I like to do is when I'm doing a card where I'm only using the embossing bit at one portion, is to run only part of it, because it kind of keeps the bulk down. I'm going to be adding a piece of crumb cake on top of this, and I don't want it to get too bulky. So that's going to keep it from doing that. And so let me go ahead and do this. I also wanted to show you that with this, every single thing I did on here as far as an ink pad, the only ink pad I used was the you know what? It is Misty. Isn't that interesting? It says Misty Moonlight. I wasn't saying it wrong. They printed it wrong here on Moonlight Mist. Isn't that something? Well, I'll be. Hey, that makes me feel a whole lot better. Here I thought I was saying it wrong for 2 months. Okay, Misty Moonlight it is. Woohoo! It was not a major mishap on my part. It's a little mishap on Stampin' Up's printing part, which is kind of funny. Okay, so here is my love stamp, and I'm just going to do a little background here. And a lot of this is going to be covered up as far as once I get up to this part here. But I'm going to go ahead and just give it a nice little fill in there. And while I have my ink pad out, I think I'm going to grab a little strip. I should have a little strip in my basket here. Ah, yes. Oh, I think I got a wrong color on here. Oh well, I was supposed to have a yellow strip. This is going to be a ooh, very vanilla. You see that right there? That is going to cause a problem. Therefore, I have something right here to the rescue. I actually happen to have some of these little alcohol prep pads. And that is going to take care of that blue, because that blue is going to get all over that pretty clear, crisp vanilla cardstock. And I don't want that to happen. Hey, Darlene, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see if this will work, or if I need to go get a piece of, what do you call it? Daffodil Delight cardstock. We'll see whether we can do it with this. So what I'm going to do is, oh, I need one more thing, and that is, here is just a scrap of Very Vanilla. And I think what I'm going to do is stamp 2 of these just in case, and that way if I mess one up, I've got another one handy and ready to go. So those are done, and what I'm going to do is, while this ink is still really fresh, I'm going to come in here with my blender pen. I'm going to clear it, make sure it's running clear, and then I am going to bring some of the ink from the veins of the leaves into the leaf itself to give a little bit of just a pale, super pale version of Misty Moonlight. And I'm actually doing that even up here on the sepals of the flower, so that I have just a hint of that really pale blue. Hey Veronica, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you like the stamp set. Now I'm going to take 2 of my Stampin' Right markers, and I'm going to use the fine tip here to just fill in the love letters. These are just a really pretty font, and really they're not a font. I think they're just kind of hand-drawn letters, but they're really pretty. when you fill them in, they really pop and give you a lot more oomph. And I'm wanting love to be the main theme of this card. So there I have filled in my love. And then I'm also going to take my Daffodil Delight marker. Now this is dry, so I'm not going to worry about this like picking up the blue or smearing it or smudging it. And then I have that nice little pop of Daffodil Delight. And I think I missed just a tiny bit there. Okay, so that is done and dusted, ready to go. And now I'm going to just feed this in here like so and punch it out. Let's see, that's gonna actually fit a little bit better. My cardstock is a little bit wide on one side. And then on this, my Sending Love, I'm gonna do just a little fancy edge. See how cute that looks? Now that might be a little bit too far, too long to go down into my punch. So let me just go there and there. And now I've got my little stamped pieces ready to go. Okay, let's tidy up the workspace. And I'm even going to, well, now here I was gonna clean my stamp, and I don't even have a mat, a little chamois over here. Okay, so here are my stamped bits, and I am going to add them right here. So let's take the crumb cake piece and add it first, and that is going to give me this nice kind of a like your own handmade what do you call it, designer series paper. And then I will say something I'm going to do a little bit different on this one. I used a 1-inch piece of cardstock on my original, and I decided it might be a little bit big, so I'm actually going to use a 3/4 inch piece. And I think I'm going to like the result more. Might be a little bit too much of a good thing there. And I'm just going to butt that up right there. Now I could just leave it like that and it would be super cute. However, I am going to add a little bit of ribbon. Now on my original, I used the twine, and I think that's probably what I'm going to use again. But I did think about adding this instead and adding a little bit more of the Misty Moonlight, but adding it in such a way that it gives me texture. So you guys kind of tell me what you're thinking about that while I do a little bit of a Night of Navy matte for my postage stamp. Let me know what y'all are thinking. Hey, Michelle, you are here. Yay, I know I get to see you very soon. And Diana's here. Wow, a lot of things have happened since I was stamping. Marlene has joined us, and I know you've got grandkids today. Lucky you. And let's see, who else has joined in? Velma is here. Hey there. And Veronica is here. Now, Veronica already said hi. Now, I've got somebody saying Misty Moonlight ribbon, and I've got other people saying twine. Oh, twine on top of the ribbon. Oh, now I think we might just be able to please everybody by going twine and ribbon. That, I think, is a brilliant idea, Miss Peggy. So let's do just that. I'm going to take my ribbon first and put it on the back. And I got actually some of this nifty stuff over here. This is the new Stampin' Seal. And I'm still, I think I'm still mastering it. I say mastering it, it's just a basic adhesive, but it has a very different feel than what I've been using for 10 plus years. So that is looking lovely. And now I'm going to put this right over that. Oh, I think that was a little touch of brilliance. I will also say Peggy is a stitcher. She has beautiful, beautiful quilts. And I think that people who do work with fabric oftentimes have a really kind of an expert understanding of working with ribbons. Look at there. Look at there. That is a little touch of brilliance. Thank you, Peggy. And Eileen has joined us. And Rhonda, yeah, the ribbon does get a little bit lost. But I don't know if you can see that in the camera. The texture that that gives is really pretty brilliant. So you've got kind of Misty Moonlight, and then the twine. So now let's get a little bit more adhesive going here. And that is ready to go right here. Now, one of the reasons that I did this as a panel, color on color panel, is it makes it a lot easier to work with all these other moving parts, as it were, when you have that. Now, there is my postage stamp that's going to go there, and here is my greeting. Now, you see on my original, I have it in the Daffodil Delight, and I don't have any Daffodil Delight paper over here. So what do y'all think? Do you like it with the vanilla, or you think I need to go get the Daffodil Delight? While you're thinking about that, giving me your input, I'm going to grab some of these gems, and I'm going to start working on my bow. I'm going to just make a little single bow this time. I did a double bow on my first one. I think I'm going to do a single bow this time. Okay, Jackie, you're here too. I hadn't seen you earlier. Welcome, welcome. So yes, a twine bow for sure. We don't want that, that ribbon would be a little bit too much on the bow part, but I think it really does add a nice bit of texture. It's color on color, so it's very subtle, but the texture is very much there. Now, I will also say, on this one, I kind of offset my love over here. I could put it in the center. So, yeah, the daffodil. Okay, everybody's liking the daffodil. Let me go grab a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock. While y'all are thinking about whether this needs to be in the center or whether it needs to be offset like I did over here. Grab, and that's just a little half inch of Daffodil Delight cardstock. I'm going to do a PDF tutorial on this card, and I'm going to put it on my blog, so that will be there for you. All the measurements. Oh, looky here. Lucky for me, I had Daffodil cardstock still on the trimmer, so I could get to it easily. Okay, offset. Peggy has spoken. Offset it is. Yeah, I thought maybe in the center it was a little bit too, I don't know, maybe a little bit too matchy-matchy. Okay, so let's go here. Here we go. Sending love your way. And let's trim those ends and make them really cute. And I think that's something you could do even if you weren't using the postage stamp. I think it's almost reminds me of, you know, back in the day when we used to use little, the little, what do you call the fancy edge scissors. That's kind of what that reminds me of. Both the sentiment and the love are going to be over here. So let's put the sentiment down first. I'm going to actually lay that flat because the postage stamp is going to be popped up. Sending love your way. Now this is going to need some major dimensionals because there's a lot of thickness here. So do I have any other scissors over here? Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. I need some little snips here. And I think what I'm going to do is if I put these on the edges only, then I should theoretically have this in the center that's popping up the center, and then this is popping up the edges, which I've already stuck down somehow. Oh, that's interesting. I have the little protective piece down there. I think that was kind of all cattywampus when the, from where it was on my little, on the little sheet it comes on. Okay, there we go. Now this has to be put on my little twine bow. I actually, you know, I really like the way this is coming out. I think that the little bit of ribbon actually adds some really important texture. And I also think that this double twine might have been a little bit too much of a good thing. I love the card, but it is nice when you can see a little bit of maybe an improvement. And I also do think that, you see I brought this down to a 3/4 inch. You see the difference? This is a 1 inch, and I think it's just a little bit too much of that Misty Moonlight there. It's a strong color, especially when you compare it to, you know, this nice light bright of the Daffodil Delight. Now, I do want to put a little bit of an inside on there. So I think that maybe on the inside as well as the envelope, I think that we will go with the special delivery. Isn't that a cute stamp? So special delivery is going to go on the envelope right down there. Isn't that cute? And I think, I forgot to cut it. Well, I was going to put a little piece of very vanilla in here. It's a little bit more finished that way, but that's okay. We'll just do, you can easily write on this. I mean, kind of my rule of thumb is if the cardstock is too dark to write on, then I'm always going to put a light insert to make it easy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is our card for today. A little introduction to Misty Moonlight, which is being said correctly. I was correct on that. And with one of the color combinations from the Color Coach from Stampin' Up. I will link to that as soon as we are done here today. Oh, I forgot to put my gold gems on here. This is supposed to have a little bit of bling. A little bit of bling. Now my original, I put the bling where I put it because I was covering up a smudge. You know how that is. Bling will cover a multitude of sins with your errors, with your projects, but I think that is going to be very good right there. So actually very simple, and let me go back and review with you the other kind of more simplified version, I guess, less stamping version on the Seaside Spray. So very similar card, and just kind of showing you how you can change things up a little bit. So that is what I have for you for today. I am going back to drawing for comments, so I will send one of these cards, one of my demonstration cards, from the comments today. I will draw from comments, and I will do that within the next few minutes. Yes, I will share the link for that, Diane. And I also wanted to remind you that when you share my videos this month, all month, you go into the drawing for this stamp set free. So this, I will mail this to somebody whose name will be drawn from all the people who share my July videos. So I'm glad I'm getting some good feedback. You're liking the colors. I think that, you know, when we get these new colors, we have to learn how to work with them. And like I said, when we were looking at the at all the different blues that Stampin' Up has, this is not like any of our other blues. All of those blues, and then there's Misty Moonlight. So I like being able to learn what colors marry nicely with it, which colors work well. So what would be fun is to maybe do this with a totally different background color, but I do like the pop of that Daffodil Delight. As I said as well, if you were wanting to make this card and you don't have Daffodil Delight, any of our yellows really look good with Misty Moonlight. So if you have Crushed Curry or you have Bumblebee or So Saffron, they all look really good with Misty Moonlight. So you could do a version of this. I mean, this is just vanilla cardstock, Night of Navy, which many people have because it's kind of a basic neutral. Crumb Cake is a basic neutral, or if you didn't have that color and you have the other in colors, you could do with this one. So anyway, that is what I have for you today. Let me bring this up and just say farewell to you. Don't forget to share my video, and I thank you for all of your comments here. I will draw from comments and pop this card in the mail to somebody within the next 30 minutes or so. Rhonda, I'm glad you're liking all the new ink colors this time too. I really like the new ink colors. I have to say, I really enjoyed the ones from last year. My favorites from last year are Seaside Spray and probably Pretty Peacock as well. Love, love, love that Seaside Spray. And then this year, yeah, I'm enjoying what I've been doing here with you guys, where I take one color, one of the new ink colors, and concentrate on it for about 10 days or 2 weeks. That's helping me. I hope it's helping you as well. So thank you so much, Marlene, for sharing my video. Thank you for your positive feedback. I always appreciate it. And if there's something you don't like, I need to hear that too, because that helps me to do better for you guys. And, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So different, sometimes we try different colors or different orientations of whether it's portrait or landscape orientation, lots of different things that we can try, different embellishments, and see something a little bit different. Okay, I think it's time for me to go down and give my husband a little snack. We ate a very late breakfast, so it is snack time, lunchtime. My son's making pizza for us tonight, so homemade pizza. He's been working on the dough for a couple of days and made homemade Italian sausage to go on it with fresh ground pork. So yeah, I'll tell you guys about that on Thursday. So that is it. Take care and God bless. Thank you so much.